Hello, welcome to the Dahlia World Garden as we play Daggerheart. I am your caretaker, Tim Dahlia. This is our first adventure with the new system, and we have created a little pocket in our fantasy world of Aetherdriven called Madet. It's a small town and research outpost for the university nation-state Chasm. As is the case for all of us TTRPG players, scheduling can be difficult. Our friends Duke, player of Gabriel the Dracona, and Camera, player of Nyla the Qatari, were not able to attend the following session. But the game must go on. If you like our work here, please like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, follow the info in the descriptions to various social media things, and most of all, be kind to yourself and others. And now, I'll let Cindy take it away.
Hi everybody, I'm Cindy and I'm your GM for this evening. We are episode 1 of our new series, Making It in Madet. Let me go ahead and introduce our players for tonight. Scott, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Scott Gilbert, and I'm going to be playing Raz Tokum, the wily rogue, and hopefully I'm going to make it and made it.
How about Wim?
I'm Wim. I'm going to be playing Val Isim. Definitely not magical, definitely very good at their job. Two things that are certainties and truths, for sure.
Right, I guess the proof will be in the pudding at some point. And Sleepy.
I'm Sleepy. I'll be playing Calico, the Qatari bard. My job is to make everyone's job harder.
And with that, we return to Madet, where a terrific snowstorm has blown in, and it is completely unseasonable. It's definitely etherically altered, and we're talking howling whiteout conditions for 2 days. Nobody could see anything. Getting back and forth between buildings and town was dangerous. You would be risking freezing just by walking between buildings. If you didn't follow a lifeline, you could actually get lost in between buildings. It was that hard to see. Here we are on the 3rd day. And sometime in the wee hours of the morning, the howling winds finally died down to a kitten's mew. And now, as the sun finally begins to peep between the clouds over Madet, people are starting to dig themselves out of their homes, if they're still in their homes. The militia's been called out to start helping shoveling snow. Residents are making an attempt to get back to their homes, but it's going to be a while, obviously. We're talking 6-foot drifts, 12 feet in places, nearly covering some buildings on the windward side of places. And you're all, let's see, where did Val and Raz spend the blizzard? Were you at home or were you in the HOE?
Val was probably in the HOE on call.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had taken the moment when the alarm initially went off to also bring Val's dad over there. And then from then on, we're just ready for whatever they need to be called to.
Yeah, I kind of figured that Raz would have done the same thing, especially, sheltering and probably protecting people who came there as well. So.
Okay. And Calico, where did Calico spend the
I
storm?
picked my most capable partner's house, and I'm just gonna put myself in a random building. I'm staying with my boyfriend Alphonse, who's one of the miners.
Okay.
To try to gain some favor to help dig out my wagon after everything clears up.
Okay. Okay, and Nyla and Gabriel had planned to pass the storm in the chapel for people who were maybe not as comfortable, to keep it open for people who were not as comfortable with the Hall of Expertise. So now we know where everybody is. What are you doing on this fine morning?
Trying to convince my partner to dig me out.
I'm probably helping with the shoveling around the Hall of Expertise.
Well, it's probably doing the same. Half keeping an eye on and half shoveling into the path where Raz is digging. But you know, they're still shoveling. It's just Raz is doing definitely twice the work they were before.
Definitely good at your job, which is making more work for Raz. Okay, and slowly but surely over the course of the morning, more and more people begin to move around. The main militia has cleared the main thoroughfares around the Hall of Expertise, and they're trying to they're working their way toward the most critical buildings first, and then they'll get out to the residential areas as possible. But it's looking like people are going to be, bunking in the Hall of Expertise at least for a few days while people dig out, because it has also remained extremely cold. There are reports that the river has frozen over completely with a solid 2-foot thick crust of ice over the course of 2 days. So it's obviously still running underneath that, but at least in the immediate vicinity of Madet, that river is solid 2 feet of ice on the top. As you go about your digging duties, you notice a set of runners come out of running from the Hall of Expertise, carrying what look like messages. And some of them are actually carrying snowshoes with them as they take off, apparently expecting to need to walk across the top of the snow crust to get to wherever it is they've gone. Calico.
Yeah.
Did you convince your partner Alphonse to help you dig out your wagon?
I'm gonna say yes, but it's gonna cost me actual date time, not my normal come over and just hang out.
Okay. That seems fair. And it is as you have made it to the road outside of Alphonse's home and discovered that the militia has not quite yet gotten to that portion of the road in the residential area. And so you have a whole lot more digging to do from there to your wagon, or snowshoeing, one or the other, that a messenger on snowshoes arrives, a little breathless, and delivers to you a sealed vellum envelope that is very clearly marked as being from the official Council of Elders, or Council of Experts.
Let me see if I have a way to do anything with this before I just open it. I don't. Dang it. I was hoping to be able to get an idea and decide whether or not I wanted to open it. I'm going to kind of give Alphonse a wave and go back inside and open it.
Okay. So you carefully pry the red seal off of the back of the envelope and lift the flap. And in a very precise but flowing hand is written a summons for you to meet with the come before the Council of Expertise at 1 bell past noon today for an urgent meeting with them.
All right, let me just put that in my notes real quick. That didn't look like it worked. Yeah, I'll be there on time. I'm gonna be there about 5 minutes late.
Okay. And Raz and Val, as you guys are digging, you spend your morning digging and digging and digging and digging. And the lunch whistle blows and a second squad or another squad of militia members comes out to relieve your squad and send you in to lunch inside the Hall of Expertise. Val's boss strides into the cafeteria, briefly looks around, focuses on Val, and makes a beeline straight for you.
Oh no, what did I do this time? I reported it. I turned in my reports, right? I'm fully asking Raz, who has no idea, I'm sure.
What?
Just hold on. Just let me just sit in front of me. It's fine. Just don't worry about it.
Sure.
Ism! Tokum!
Uh-oh.
What did we do? Usually it's just me. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
Ism, that report that you turned in last night, rewrite it. I can't read a thing.
I turned it in this time, though.
What's that worth if I can't read it?
The effort is the thought that counts.
Not in this here militia, Ism.
I
Also,
think
the two of you have an appointment with the Council of Expertise. 1 bell after lunch. So be ready for that. I might suggest you get cleaned up.
Will
about
do.
the report?
I don't think the Council of Expertise gives a rat's ass about your report. That's me.
I'll do that after the meeting then.
See that you do. And he stalks off. He's obviously got more than enough to keep him occupied right now.
What did you do, Val?
Clearly you did something too this time, so I'm not taking all the credit.
Not me. I didn't do nothing.
You're probably right.
Okay. So, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you all have an appointment with the Council of Expertise. Until then, what would you like to do?
Sweat
just
profusely.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just keep helping Alphonse hopefully dig to my wagon so I can put on fresh clothes.
Well, since we're in the Hall of Expertise and really not going to be able to make it out home, I figure I'd take a wash off or whatever there and just kind of freshen up a little bit after lunch and get ready for the meeting.
Okay. So then, when the time rolls around, Val and Raz, obviously, you're already on site, so no excuses for being late. You make your way to the Hall of Expertise, but upstairs to where the council directors' offices are and where the council chambers are. And when you reach the hall outside, the hallway outside the council chambers, there are a pair of militia members standing guard outside the closed door. And Calico, are you making your way on time? You're going to be a little late. How's that going to go?
I'm going to be like 5-ish minutes late. And if I wasn't able to get to my wagon, I'm going to use my fast threads in my clothes, or fast fashion in my clothes, to try to make myself look presentable.
Okay, well, let me look here real quick. Where did your character sheet go? I'm going to say you were able to get to your wagon. It was maybe not the neatest of digging jobs, but you were able to make it. It's cold enough that the snow isn't terribly heavy. It's just a lot of it.
Cool. Then yeah, I'm going to put on like fresh clothes, change my piercings, and then go to the hall. And I'm going to try to be exactly 5 minutes late.
Okay.
Even if that means waiting outside the front door for like 45 seconds.
Well,
I have an image to uphold.
Of course you do. As it is, Val and Raz are still waiting outside the council chambers when you come strolling up, a chic 5 minutes late.
Val, what did you do to get me in trouble?
See, that's what I haven't figured out yet. I thought it was about some reports that I did turn in but weren't illegible. Then they asked for rest too, and I was like, oh, maybe we both did something. But if you're also here, probably me.
As long as I don't have to pay for anything, we'll be fine.
Well, we didn't break anything at the doctor's, right? It was just easy in and out.
Maybe it has something to do with that alligator. Who knows?
Don't remind me of that thing.
Yeah, but I was barely there for that, so I don't know why I'd be called. Maybe because you were there and you killed it, so then they're like, oh, well, they gotta have the parole officer there too.
I didn't kill it.
Maybe they're calling you because you weren't really there?
I did my best, okay? It was the other side of town. It was, the fitness is not my passion.
Aren't you a guard? Like, shouldn't you be able to get there in a timely manner?
There was an opening. The resume wasn't super legible either. They kind of just took my word for it.
I love this place.
Oh my God, you guys are killing me. And at about that moment, the door to the council chamber opens, and someone wearing a secretary's cap sticks their head through and says, oh, you're all here. Well, most of you. We're missing 2, but that's okay, because they're asking for you now. And like dodges back in, but leaves the door ajar this far.
Does that mean we go in?
I just walk in.
I'll follow.
I follow.
He seems confident.
Yep.
That's all I've got.
As you step through, the door closes almost immediately on your heels with kind of a mildly ominous boom. But that might just be that it's a heavy door.
Well, I guess I like shoved inside by it.
Inside the room, you are met with a let's see, it's a carpeted room, basically completely open, very large enough to accommodate a U-shaped table with the open portion of the U facing toward you. And around the outsides of it, at the three sides, are the seats of 10 people whom you are at least passingly familiar with. They are all directors of various departments in town for the university. And in the center of the U, facing you directly, are the female orc, Flora, who made the announcement on the steps a couple of days ago about the storm. And beside her, to her right, is a fairy sort of sitting cross-legged on the table where there would normally be a chair, except that he's sitting on the table. And to her left is a male in Ferris. And there are, from there, 7 others along the outsides of the U, including Val's boss's boss's boss, the Galapa, who broke up the crowd after the Eligators invasion the other day. Everybody's sitting around the table looking pretty grim, pretty not great. Here's where I have to pull up their names and locate my notes.
Val looks down at their dirty, melting snow-covered boots as they stepped into carpet. It's just kind of like, well, this is a great first impression.
Once we're all in and situated, I want to raise my hand and be like, I just want to go on record saying that whatever this is, it was Val's fault.
I want to go on record and say, while that is likely, I don't know what it is, so I'm not fully liable yet. And Raz wasn't responsible at all, you know.
I just kind of look around and go, why the long faces? And it is Val's fault.
Okay, last part was unnecessary, but probably true.
Oh, good Lord. The orc who is sitting in the center is the director of civics and the elected chairperson of the council. And she kind of frowns and glances between the three of you, raises an eyebrow, and then goes back to her frown and says, "Thank you all for coming at our call. There are 2 others who were meant to join you but have been delayed at the chapel. I am sorry to have to make this request, but we are quite frankly out of options. Trevin, would you like to explain the situation?" And the fairy at her right, who is the vice chair, hops up and heaves a great dramatic sigh and says, "Of course. You see, we are out of options. there's the storm, and the militia is having to take care of the snow, but also there's been weird. Have you heard about the weird things out in the forest? Because there's weird things out in the forest, and that alligator apparently was one of them. But they don't all look like that exactly. There's a lot of weird. Then the orc says, "Trevin." Right. So, anyway, weird things out in the forest that we need protection from. So that's basically all of the militia. And the doctor came to us a few days ago and says that we might have a new plague, like, starting up. And I am super not interested in watching that go through the town. So we did send off the samples. They all went out to Chasm, but we haven't gotten anything back from Chasm, and the storm has cut off our communications. And the thing is that even the supply shipment is late now.
Yeah, that
And
sounds bad.
Felora just kind of rubs her temple. Yes, that is the gist. We need a group of adventurers versed in moving about the area and dealing with the local troubles to at least go up Fulcrum Pass and find out if they have seen the caravan. We have some illustrations
Nice.
which are out of focus for some reason. Or maybe just
If you zoom out a little bit, it'll fix itself.
Yeah. Maybe. There we go. So our orc Felora. And let's see, we're sitting on top of the tokens there, so maybe that's better. In Ferris, sitting to Felora's left, is this gentleman here. And he looks distinctly as though he is disapproving of pretty much everything under his gaze. The forestry uniformed Simia is also seated among the council, and so is this is it wow, I've forgotten the name of the ancestry. Is it
Fungrel.
Fungrel? Thank you. I almost said Fungwar, and I'm like, I know that's not it. Fungrel is also sitting among them. Do we have another? I think we do. So is this fabulous young lady. And these two as well. I think we're missing. There are also a pair of fawns. And I'm trying to think. That's right. I did mention the Galapa. So it's and so we're missing two. No, you're right. One fawn. You're right. A fawn and Tevin. You're right. So the little fairy. Our council members, courtesy of Cami.
Nice.
Awesome.
The reason you have been summoned here today is to request that you become members of the party that we send to Fulcrum Pass to locate the caravan.
I agree. Raz was a good pick. I'm sorry that you had to have me tag along with him. I know that's just the nature of the job, but he'll do really well, and I will also be there.
So they are part of the militia, and they can't say no. But in
Right.
exchange for services, you're offering.
You will be rewarded for the trip out and back, with potential bonuses depending upon the difficulty upon your return.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
All right. I guess let's get this show on the road.
The
Hope we don't-
fungrel taps on the table in front of them. I wish to register once more my objection to this plan. We should be sending militia, not adventurers.
Right now we're at 2/3 militia. I feel like that's pretty good.
Yeah, we can do it.
The ribbit, who has slick black skin and very vivid orange stripes along her limbs and a bright orange spot in the middle of the top of her forehead, pops up and says, I agree. We should be sending someone more trustworthy, a squad of the best. I don't know why you're insisting on sending plebes.
Damn. You know, just talk about us? I mean,
Well, a
Come
quick
on,
tour
we
of the
can do
armory
it.
and then a quick tour of my adventuring chest will show you the difference in why you would need someone as well equipped as who you're sending compared to someone carrying, and I look over at Val's halberd, standard equipment.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like mean about me, but fair, and then not about the others. But then you just had to add salt to it, and I feel like that's just unnecessary. But you know, but I'll still go. I have to, I guess.
Flora eyes the two of them one after the other and simply says, we have already hashed through this multiple times. This is the best option we have available to us at this moment. It is unlikely that you will encounter much in the way of true opposition on this journey to Fulcrum Pass. It is much more likely, though not certain how likely, that you may encounter some of the altered fauna. So far, that has not proven to be much of an obstacle in its own. For the
I
time
mean, Raz
being,
took care of that one so easily. Like, I'm sure he'll carry the rest of the adventure. It'll be fine.
Well, and we already have a fawn with us. What's the problem with running into more?
fauna, as in the animals.
Well, it's
Are
a
you
little.
not a bard, Calico?
Well, yes. I heard fawn. I was only partially listening. Sorry.
Back to rubbing
Did you
the temple.
invite this person and not know what they do? Is that how bad the situation is? Because I know I'm here and that's bad
My
enough, but like
Point
no information.
is that a bard should have. It is beside the point. I appreciate we appreciate your willingness to undertake this task. If you would go and prepare yourselves, we would like to send you out as early as first light tomorrow. If you have need, please contact the quartermaster. In the supply depot, I have already sent instructions that you should be given free run of the supplies within reason for this trip.
Always have to add that part at the end.
Does Raz and I at least get the rest of the day off to prepare, or do we still have to do the second half of our shift?
You should make preparations for this trip. You are given leave to do so. The remainder of your shift for today will be covered by others.
All right.
Alphonse is not going to be happy about this.
And with that, she says, you may go, and Godspeed. Remember that the town is counting on you. We have some hope that there will be a remedy for the disease that the doctor has discovered among the supplies which are hopefully within reach.
I mean, great.
Well, my experience traveling, and if we need to move a caravan, I can handle that.
Indeed, that is a large reason for why you have been included in the group.
Here's to an easy time.
I mean, I'm going to be there, so of course it'll be easy.
I'm sure we'll balance each other out.
Val has so much faith in himself.
And right before I leave the chamber, I'm going to walk up to the U-shaped table and put a little wood carving of Raz on it and be like, for your time, and then just turn around and walk out.
Raz just kind of face palms a little bit. And does an about face and just walks out.
Okay, so what is the next stop for everybody?
I think Val goes home and maybe sets up a time with Raz and maybe Calico if they didn't just bolt to go to the armory and pick up supplies.
Right.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So before you head to the armory / supply depot, what are you all doing?
I'm going to go try to convince Alphonse I'm not trying to get out of the date I just promised them. I have a very important mission to take.
Okay, so Calico, give me a presence roll.
All right, I have stuff that affects that. Give me 1 second. I don't want to spend hope to do it, so we're just going to roll straight. That's a 17, 18, 19, 20 with fear.
I will take the fear, and that is a success, however.
I'm glad my window's not open. You definitely would be hearing that dog.
Alphonse is reluctant, but sulkily agrees, provided that you make it up to them in another way. So, one date and something nice to surprise them with.
I kind of do that like, I don't know if I can. And then I pull out a carved figure of them.
You already had this made?
Well, of course. I was just saving it for a special time. I'm definitely lying. This was a get out of jail free card.
He accepts it and kind of looks it over and says, "Oh, that's so sweet. All right, you're off the hook, but you still owe me that date. And it has to be a proper date.
Yeah, we'll go to like Baylor's or something. There's not
I
a lot
want
to
to
do
see
here.
the next movie. At Baylor's, when they get the next shipment in, I want to see the new movie."
I can make that work. I think.
All
I'll
right.
make it work.
All right, that's a promise. Don't forget.
I didn't promise, but I said I will make it work.
Alphonse wanders off to go find a nice place to prominently display the wood carving.
And then I'm gonna collect my gear and then meet them at the armory.
Okay. Val, what are you doing before you head to the armory?
Val definitely plans to talk to their dad before they leave, but that's more of a tonight thing because they're still at the Hall of Expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Val goes into their bedroom, goes to their closet, and like wipes off a really dusty box that has just like adventure written on it. And then they take out their stuff that's in there and they wrap it in a cloth and put it in a backpack. They don't change into any of their gear, but they just want to bring it with them just in case.
Okay.
And then after that, they'll head to the armory.
Okay. And Raz?
Raz is just getting things in order at home. Actually spots Dixie for a minute and talk to her about the fish with human teeth. And gather what things I have at home, and then I'm gonna head out to the armory.
Okay. And at the armory, the quartermaster eyeballs the lot of you. Kind of sharply, but then sighs a little bit. Looks at Val and does this.
I just need food. I got the rest. I see this one that I've definitely used well. That's, a regular uniform, maybe a jacket, but
And then he waves the lot of you through to pick up what you need.
Val tries to keep away from anything sharp, and then tries to grab a thick jacket that's definitely too big for them, and then pack some very perishable foods.
I'm like, you don't want to take that. Let's grab this stuff over here. The stuff that ain't gonna go bad as we're going.
But it's so cold out, I figured it would keep it at a good temperature, like keep it in the fridge.
Yeah, but we don't know what we're gonna be heading into, so.
That's fair.
Calico, what are you looking for?
I think I'm the most well versed in like traveling in this manner. So I'm gonna get like the actual essentials, like cold weather camping gear, like cookware, like dry bags.
Okay. You guys gonna get all this packed while you're there? Or take it
Yeah.
elsewhere to pack?
Kind of split up who's going to carry what, but generally pack there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've got my nomad pack from my background that I'm like very precisely packing.
Out of experience.
Yeah. This might be
Not
the
like-
only time you guys see Calico like looking like he really knows what he's doing, not pretending.
Val kind of like slides the bag and the stuff that's supposed to be in there kind of over to you. Like, you should pack this too, probably.
Honestly, it's probably not a bad idea if I pack all of your bags. No offense, Raz. I used to have to do this for like my life.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Just please don't put any dolls of me in the bag.
I don't have any more.
Oh,
And
Thanks.
my eyes just immediately start shifting around. There's a doll of you in each of the bags.
As in, you just didn't say that soon enough.
I think the only thing of note that you see in Val's pack is that there's some type of clothing that is wrapped in a cloth, and then there's a staff that is wrapped next to it. Otherwise, it's just stuff that's been in the armory.
Cool. Oh yeah, and I'm dressed in like my good shit. So I have like gilded armor on and a very fancy sword.
Val is still wearing the guard's uniform.
I'm gonna go make a show of my important mission before I take off. So.
Yeah, I better tell my dad I'm leaving, but I don't know, but if you have anything to do, Raz.
I've already said my goodbyes.
Alright, well, let's meet from the Hall of Expertise in the morning, and let's do this! Woo!
Alright.
Go team!
Yep, I spend the rest of the night telling my partners that I'm going to be gone, giving them no details of where I'm going, and then going into Baylor's and making like this big show of how we're like the chosen heroes of the town sent to go save everyone's lives. And
This time for real, though.
This time.
There's a lot of eye rolling and elbowing each other in the ribs going on in the audience there.
Yeah.
Also, Baylor looks a little bit grumpy that you've upstaged him with your shiny gear. However, the moment you stop talking, he jumps up on the bar and starts in on one of his great, long, epic tales.
awesome.
Okay.
I feel like me and Baylor are rivals now.
I mean, you are using his pub as your stage.
There's nowhere else to perform.
Well, outside
guess
of
the puppet
designated
show.
performance hours.
Oh yeah, I don't ever look at when those are posted. I just show up and start doing stuff.
Okay, so Val was going to go talk with his father, and then everybody was going to meet up in front of the Hall of Expertise in the morning.
Yep.
So,
Right.
is there anything else anybody thought of while we were at break that you want to get done before that? Okay.
Not
So-
offhand.
Whoops. that's definitely not a token I'm moving. Okay, so bright and early the following morning, just as the sun is breaking through the trees, or breaking through the clouds again, coming up over the horizon. I don't know what trees I'm talking about. I don't know where that came from. This is what I get for talking to rain. Everybody kind of meets up in front of the Hall of Expertise. You did get a note from the Council of Expertise that your 2 additional companions would be joining you as soon as they could, but they have been asked to assist the doctor for an emergency overnight. So they have been delayed, but they will join you, catch up with you as soon as they can. So that said, you have been provided with a map of the general area between Madet and Fulcrum Pass, where your destination is. It is very sketchy in part because there's really not that much out there between the 2 places. It's still very much frontier land. The Madet and vicinity for like the archaeological digs and stuff are all very clearly marked, but as far as real landmarks or anything, there's not that much between the 2 places. It's pretty well a straight shot and not a developed road, but it's been many feet have been trotting it for a long time. So since Madet was founded, so it's not like a paved road, but it's also not too hard to follow.
Mm.
Okay, and with that, how do you proceed?
Did we get rides, or are we all riding together?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that you guys are pretty well going to have to hoof it from go because they're still digging the town out.
Okay.
That's a fun to take offense to that term, but
I was just wondering if you would.
Good thing nobody actively said that to Val, huh?
well, you guys ready for a short hike?
Yeah, let's trudge through the snow.
I haven't
Yeah.
traveled in too long.
Yeah, I think we'll probably need your help with the map and everything. I've been up that way a couple times, but in like a carriage, so not really paying attention. So that was probably useless information.
Well, I guess
But,
I'll take lead.
Yeah, let's go.
Sounds good to me.
And I start leading us along the route.
Okay, and
Is the snow just as thick out here as it is in town?
because there's no real buildings or anything for it to drift up along, there's some places that are a little bit deeper than others, but you're really not having to like wade waist deep through it. It blew through pretty well, so you're probably at worst maybe knee deep in most of it, in most places, or even less.
Okay.
It's just that it's still bloody cold, and like I said, the river is completely frozen for 2 feet down, at least out in the middle. At the edges, that's a little thinner because by virtue of being shallower and
Right.
disturbed with the motion of the water. So The first thing that you are doing is having to head north by northwest-ish, more north than northwest, headed for the river and then, of course, to cross and into the mountains. So... There we go. It would help infinitely if I could just remember how this works. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, crap. I am simply attempting to move the character tokens to the appropriate map because, like a goober, I forgot to do that. Oh, and also all of the character tokens are much smaller on this map. Okay, and in what order are you marching?
I'm in the front.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be in front of Val because he's probably still keeping an eye on me.
Yeah, I'll bring up the rear.
Do you want to be back in front of the halberd again?
No.
You can bring up the rear, that's fine.
That's also a good reason to not do
I
that.
trust you enough not to run off in the middle of a snowstorm.
I have cat-like reflexes.
Literally.
No, you have cat reflexes.
True.
Okay, and as you proceed, I have clicked the wrong thing. There we go. Let's see. So, Calico, you were in the front?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you aiming for as, because you've got quite a ways. It's probably 2 days roughly between Madet and the foot of the mountain, and then another day up the pass to get to the caravanserai at Fulcrum Pass. So you're looking at 2 to 3 days, probably 3.
Is that normal travel, or is that what I'm expecting with how the weather is?
That's normal travel. Now with the weather and obstacles, that can cause things to take a little bit longer. And by obstacles, I mean, there's still the occasional attack from wolves or, that kind of thing, fauna attacks that are still happening along that route occasionally. And it's usually smaller, like single peddlers and stuff like that.
Right.
That are getting attacked out there. The large caravans usually don't see that, but, that's why it's strange that the supply caravan has disappeared.
I'm gonna try to keep us at a steady pace, but not enough that it would just wear us out to go that fast.
Right.
Okay. And would Val or Raz have experience traveling in snow conditions like this, or did they tend to adventure under better weather conditions or in warmer climates usually?
Fair weather adventurers.
Well, Raz wasn't necessarily a full adventurer. He was more about just going into the castle and taken what he wanted. Or if he come across somebody that was on the road, a little trick of the hand, and he'd have whatever he wanted.
Right. So
'Cause he can
he
steal
could pick
that.
and choose his weather conditions.
That's right.
I think there's been a couple adventures way back that Val was out in the snow, but not anything that he would remember. Like, he'd remember that they happened, but not like how they went through everything.
Okay. What kind of experience does Calico have with traveling in snow?
So, like, the caravan went all over all the time, so, like, I assume that we would try to stay out of the snow, but it was bound to happen. So, like, I wouldn't say they're an expert, but they definitely have experience.
Okay. So it's less of a concern for them.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as you keep up your steady pace, which is probably wise considering that you've got a long way to go in a lot of cold conditions. You do hear, distant wolf howls and kind of the wildlife in the area coming like up out of wherever they rode out the storm. But it does seem, as most snowy scapes are, kind of eerily quiet, considering. Doesn't seem terribly out of the ordinary. And you spend perhaps the first half of the day traipsing along with nothing untoward, no real encounters with anybody. You certainly get past the outer edges of militia patrols fairly quickly and to the riverbank. At which point, it's about midday. Do you wish to stop and eat, or would you rather continue going on?
I think I would pitch the idea of just eating something small as we go, just to keep making time.
I'm with that.
I know that they're not as seasoned of travelers as me, so I'm totally willing to sit and take a rest if they need.
Well, me being who I am, I'm used to eating on the go.
Yeah.
I think Val is a little bit visibly tired, but very much just I'm following Calico in the situation. The one that has experience, I'm going to try to not fuck anything up by just letting go of the reins. So even though they're a little bit tired, you can tell they're trying to push through.
Yeah, if I can see that you're visibly tired, experience just tells me I'm just gonna be actually, you know what? I think we should stop for a minute, get some lunch in us, maybe try to warm up a little bit, not build a fire or anything, but try to make it seem like it was. Yeah, try to make it seem like it wasn't that I was stopping because Val's tired, but because it's a good idea.
Okay. Okay.
So are we stopping, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I just kind of take the time to actually sit down, grab a little something, eat up a little bit. Eat up and warm up.
Yep.
Oh, why does that look like that on the screen there? That's odd. I cannot work out why that looks like that.
It looks so white with this on. It's just full pale.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that one looks like that. Tim, have I done something strange? I just have a white rectangle on the activity in Discord,
Yeah.
but on the Roll20, I have the actual map.
Yeah, on Discord, all I've got's a white rectangle.
With our tokens.
Okay, well, we'll just...
That might be a quit the activity real quick and switch over.
Yeah, let's see if I can do that. Oh, let me try that. Maybe, if I can remember how to get out of it. There we go. And then we'll try it again.
That worked for me.
Yeah, I see it.
Good.
I've still got all white.
If you leave and come back is what I did, and that fixed it for me.
Yeah.
But
For whatever odd reason, it didn't like that map change for some reason.
Huh.
There we go.
Okay, so you are all sitting kind of on, like, just in from the bank of the river in a kind of an open sort of space. This is effectively the last of the quasi-civilized area before you get out into real wilderness. So now's your opportunity to fix your gear so you're a little bit warmer, a little more comfortable. Maybe do a little recon before you really get going again.
Yeah.
You know, what are you guys doing?
Looking at my abilities to see what I can do.
Okay. Honest answer.
Well, if we need to talk to someone, I got this.
okay, good
You
to know
are
that you do the
The
talking,
one.
not the rambler. That's probably for the best.
I think I'm pretty well set up. I just like the basic, like adjusting my like pack straps and like making sure that I'm comfortable for heading out.
Right.
Yeah, I think Val just kind of sits for a second to try and catch his breath, and then kind of sits clutching his necklace and just shaking a little bit from probably the cold.
And Raz is
Okay.
definitely just making sure he's ready to go, getting his stuff and making sure that he's warm.
Okay.
And that sure was a freak storm.
Yeah, we don't get many of those.
I like storms, but I don't like the cold.
Yeah, I like storms too, but this is out of season. This is strange.
I just kind of don't like storms, but you know, if that's what y'all are into, that's what y'all are into.
There's a certain energy in the air during a storm.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Storms make it easy to be quiet.
Why would I ever want to be quiet?
Oh, you know, when you go and take that one little thing that you really wanted and you don't want anybody to hear it, here you going in getting it.
Oh, I just convinced them to give it to me.
Oh, I just take it.
I just pay for it.
One of those is dishonest, and one of those costs money.
I mean, money is exchanged for goods and services, so that's
And I'm
kind of
turning
the point,
over a
isn't
new
it?
leaf.
I exchanged things.
Hey, services for goods are also fine. Goods for goods also good.
It's
That's a lot of
especially good
ways
if
it's good.
the service is just me telling them that they need to give it to me. The service I provide is making you understand what you really want.
And I guess Raz's service is the fast hand that he has, or had. Still have? I didn't mess up that bad, did I?
I still have it. I'm just not doing it as often as I used to. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. Since you're my parole officer and everything.
Yeah, I'll make sure that's explicit in the whatever report. That is definitely going to be legible this time. I didn't write that report. Oh, that's a problem for later.
Yeah, make sure you put in the report that he doesn't do it as often as he used to.
No, just the new leaf part. I'm not.
Trying to do him a solid. Okay. Val, can I get an instinct roll from you?
It's a crit with 2 2s.
If that isn't a very Val crit, I don't know.
I was
what
about to
it
say
is.
that tracks.
Okay. So, Val, you hear creaking crackle from the ice behind you.
Val just kind of does the little ear twitch and then kind of turns around to look off. I assume it's coming from the river.
It is. It is. And the far bank of the river is visible. And there's how along the edges of an icy body of water, it gets a little bit crunchy kind of toward the edges. And there's a place there where it looks like there's some water that has come up over the ice at the edge.
Anybody else hear that crackling? Is that just normal river noises? Or
Where did you hear the crackling? I kind of look over my
off-
shoulder.
Yeah, just kind of Val points off towards the river. Just something over there.
I don't see anything.
I just see ice.
Yeah.
Like the little water. Okay.
But if you're saying water's coming up from under the ice, we should probably cross now.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
And walk soft and move quick.
Okay.
And I look directly at Val.
Yeah. I mean,
I know
I
Raz
know
can
how to
move
swim.
fast and soft, but
well, they should be fine.
and I'm gonna try to make my way across the river. Wait, we're going across the river, right? I'm not just deciding that we're just gonna cross the river.
No, you were going to have to cross the river, yes.
Okay.
We crossed the river now
figured.
or never. We're crossing the river.
Okay. Okay. Now pretend that these banks are flat. They are not the rocky things that you're looking at there.
Gotcha.
Okay, so go on. You are crossing the river.
Yep, I'm just gonna carefully and as quickly as I can try to get across.
Carefully and quickly.
Definitely quickly. How far is a close range?
I think we decided 30 feet.
That
Tim, have we
sounds
got
right.
that correct? Okay.
Yep.
Then Val's plan is to take like 10, 15 feet forward and then use leap to easily leap up to a close range across gaps or chasm without making an agility roll. I feel like there's a potential for a chasm, so it's just gonna try and just like make a bit and then just jump as far as possible.
Wait, I'm confused. The banks here are flat. Pretend they aren't that like chasm looking thing.
Yeah, but it says just across gaps or chasm, so I feel like I can just jump close
Oh,
range.
I see. So you're trying to get all the way across the river.
Yeah, so a
in
little
one
bit
shot.
and then jump across it in one shot. And for the leap, I don't have to make an agility roll. The fondness, ancestry.
Okay. So you are. Where are you trying to jump to?
So to go about like here and then jump across to just fully to the other side.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to get myself all set up here. Okay, so and you don't. That's your jump ability.
Yeah, it's just under Faun ancestry, just called leap.
Okay. Well, then you don't have to make a roll for that, so you can go ahead and put yourself right there. Let's see, up to close range across gaps or chasms. So, yeah, you could certainly make that jump. Okay, and who is next?
Look over at Raz. I'm like, well, I've got the like reflex stuff, but you probably got a softer step, so it's on you who wants to go next.
What I would,
comment?
Also,
Yeah,
did you
what-
see Val move like that? What was that?
I don't know,
Such grace.
but what I would like to do is shadow step. I would like to go into Calico's shadow and come out in Val's shadow.
Okay. And that's also in close range. That doesn't need a roll either, as I recall.
It says spellcast finesse.
Ah,
You
okay. You
you
are
can
right.
move
I
from shadow
was
to shadow when you step into the shadow cast by another creature or object, or into an area of darkness. Mark a stress and disappear from where you are and reappear inside another shadow within far range. When you do, you are hidden.
okay. So let's
Mark a
see. Go ahead
stress.
and make your mark your stress and make your finesse roll.
<clears throat> 18 with fear.
Okay, I will take the fear and go ahead and move yourself to where you wanted to come out.
So
And go ahead.
as me and Calico are talking, I was like, yeah, I probably do have the nicer step, and you just see me slip into your shadow.
Has Calico ever seen you do this before?
No.
I do my best to look like it doesn't faze me, but I'm like just clearly fighting the like, what the fuck?
Val like fully jumps because he's definitely seen it before when Raz is like left and then just showed up again, but it scares him every time.
And with Val, since you're still looking over at Calico, you hear me behind you say, "All right, Calico, come over whenever you're ready."
Yeah, Val fully like just jumps just straight in the air and then lays back down. It's like, oh god, oh, it's just you. Um, I hate when you
And
do that so much.
I am utilizing a fear.
Val jumps directly into the river.
Right through, somehow through 2 feet of ice.
Yeah, right.
Perfect, just like a circle just like pops out, then it just straight down.
Okay, and as you both, Val has his little startle, and Raz calls out to Calico, you hear rustling in the bush behind you.
Behind me or behind them?
Behind them.
Okay.
I immediately get
Hey,
into
Raz.
the red.
Hey, Raz, you see that? Is that that uh hey Calico, hurry up.
Yeah, as soon as I get the chance, I start trying to cross the river.
Can anything see me? Do I know if anything can see me?
Let's see. They come out of the bush, and so yes, they can see you. They pause, and then they both stand up.
Oh,
Okay, I was like, I'm not seeing anything. I just needed to scroll over a little bit.
Oh, oh okay.
I was like, what is it?
What is it? What are they?
mm.
Okay, and Calico, you've got a chance to come across now too, if you wish.
Oh, I've got a thing I can do. I'm gonna cast Arcane Door. Well, I'm gonna try to cast Arcane Door. So when I have no enemies in melee range, make a spellcast roll 13. On a success, spend hope to disappear from where you are and reappear with somewhere within far range you can see.
Yeah, okay.
And so that's +3 for my presence. Oh. Yes, 13 on the nose. With fear.
On a success.
Of course.
Okay, well, so I will take the fear and
2 more
you
bears.
spend a hope to disappear from where you are and reappear where you wish to be within
Right
far
there.
range.
And I literally just like reach into my pack and pull out a doorknob and then turn it and walk through a door that's not there, and then I'm next to Raz.
Hey, Calico, that was fast.
I thought I had a different spell selection going, and oh, I need to spend a hope.
Yes, you have to spend hope.
I have 1 hope. That's not ideal.
Okay, so now the bear on this bear here. Every time I move this thing around, and then I move the screen, and it takes it off the screen. This bear lumbers toward Val, being the closest.
Calico, you were good at
But-
talking, right? Is that quite a bears?
But it is not seeming quite ready to do anything yet. It definitely looks like it feels threatened.
Do we make loud noise or something? I don't know.
Anybody's got animal taming, now's a good time.
Have something better than that.
Or animal handling.
Calico, any ideas?
Yep.
Well, let's just put my help her down and surrender.
Is it on us?
It is on you guys.
All right. I'm gonna walk forward and I'm gonna attempt to cast Slumber on the bear within 15 of me, the one right in front of me.
Okay.
Let me double check how that works. Make a spellcast roll against a very close target. On a success, the target creature falls into a deep sleep until they take damage, or the GM spends fear to awaken them. I didn't expect to be such a spellcaster. That one's cocked. That is 11 with hope.
Okay, and your... I have lost it. Spell. Number. And you included your +3 on the spellcast?
Yes.
I am trying to bring up... Okay, what? Okay, Tim, I have lost the difficulty on the bear. I'm looking at the sheet. Left side. I am apparently not actually looking at the sheet then. Why is that? Okay, and I'm sorry, Sleepy, what was it you rolled?
An 11.
Okay, so it does not hit.
Yeah, and I literally just pointed at him like, please go to sleep.
That was your idea? That was your great idea?
I rolled really bad.
Oh, there's 2 of me on this trip.
The bear looks at you and roars
Fuck.
and lumbers forward.
I'm not good at fighting. So I guess I'm not bad at fighting. Not good at it, though.
There we go. Okay, and he is going to attempt to take a swipe at you with his paw.
How dare he?
It's a die 20. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay, so that is a 10.
Damn it, 10 is my number.
Okay. $13 physical damage.
Gonna mark a point of armor to bring that down to a minor damage.
Okay.
And then make a very dramatic yelp as I get swiped.
Oh, the
Because
drama.
it's more like the cat yowl, but
Okay, and the other bear lumbers forward, and he's got his eye on you, Val.
Yay.
And he's growling as he lumbers toward you and attempts a swipe.
Good bear.
Okay, that is a 3.
Does not beat an 11.
I did not hear that.
Does not beat an 11.
Okay, it certainly does not. So, he takes his swipe, but you see him coming, and with your agility, you dodge out of his way just in time. The air blows by you from his paw. And it is on you, guys.
Raz, any better ideas than saying go to sleep?
Yes, I do. And I shadow step again.
Don't you run. That's not gonna help.
So I would like to shadow. What is it called? Yeah, shadow step. I'd like to shadow step behind the bear, the one that went after Val.
Okay.
So that's finesse.
Yes.
My goodness, 13 with fear.
Okay, and that actually does do it, and I will take that fear.
not a lot of hope being rolled in the party
Yeah, I
tonight.
know, right?
I have rolled once and critted, so so far I'm doing great.
So what happens is that whenever Val says, "Do you have any ideas?" and I said, "I sure do," and you see me just slip into nowhere, and I end up behind the bear. Where I would like to do if I can, a sneak attack.
I believe you can do that. That's one action and one movement.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let him go with this one.
Okay. So with the sneak attack, do I what am I rolling?
You're rolling your okay, helps if I look at the right so you are rolling your add a d6 to your damage when you sneak attack. You can any number of hope before the attack rolled, and if the attack is successful, also add a number of d6 equal to the hope spent. So you are making an attack from out of the shadow, basically behind it.
Right.
So you have to roll.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Spend 3 hope. Okay, so I'm going to spend 3 hope, which is all that I have.
Right, and that's good until your next short rest.
Right. And
Then you roll your attack. And if it lands, you'll be adding 3d6 to the damage.
oh, is that the 3d8 plus 7? The dagger?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I got a 14.
And that hits.
Right. And I guess now I hit the damage roll.
Yes. So
Yep.
you'll roll your damage, which is the
The Rogue's Hope for the 3d6.
well, you add 3d6 to the damage from your blade. So that's not you, that's Calico. That's your physical damage. 3d6 to that total.
Oh. I think I rolled the wrong thing. I clicked
Okay,
the wrong
because so
thing,
you're rolling your duality dice for the attack.
which is the finesse. Sorry about that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, it was 17. Damn it, with fear.
Okay. But the 17 does hit.
Right. And
Do
now
we
it's
win if we
3.
fill up the fear clock?
Well, you certainly get some.
Little do you know it's an atomic bomb, even at this time. All right, so now I'm going to do the 3d8, and I need to.
3d8 plus 7 plus
Okay.
3d6.
Well, it's a 30, but I did not do the damage roll for the Rogue's Hope yet. So 30 plus 8, so 38.
Okay, so how do you want to do this?
Oh, okay. So after I say that to Val and I slip into his shadow and I come up behind the bear, you see me come up and go straight for its neck with my dagger.
Okay. And it roars as it never even saw you coming, and it flails with its claws and then just sort of sinks to the ground.
Now that was a plan.
And I am spending a fear.
Oh no.
You're gonna have to do it for me because I'm not it's not giving me the option to advance the clock. Okay. Okay. Behind you, Val, you suddenly hear the crash that almost sounds like breaking glass. And a great splashing. And from behind you, an alligator lunges out of the water against the bank. And it attempts to bite you.
Oh, that's slightly different.
Holy crap. Ooh.
Fully. Now that was a plan. Like super confident that we were gonna make it through it. Slightly turns head to see this. Immediately pale in the face.
Okay. There we go. Okay, that is it. Good Lord, I cannot manage all of these things at one time. Get out of my way. Thank you. That's a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that does.
Okay. And we've got... okay, that's 20 damage. Physical damage.
I'll take the 2 damage.
Yikes.
The second bear is going to take another swipe at you, Calico.
Oh, joy.
You sound so excited. Let's see, that is an 8 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay.
Yeah, reflexes.
You lean back just far enough as the paw swipes past you.
I'm gonna yell out, "New plan!" and draw my ghost blade and swing at the bear.
Okay. Roll to hit.
If I roll with fear again, I'm switching dice.
Yeah, it does
Oh my
sound like
God.
some dice need to hit dice jail.
I rolled so good with fear.
Ugh.
23 with fear.
That hits.
And because with the ghost blade, I can decide I'm going to do magical damage just in case it's like resistant.
Magical bears.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just worried that like its thick hide might be resistant. That's cocked. 30 points of magic
Ooh.
damage with my sword.
How would you like to do this?
I
Yeah.
lean back and I yell "new plan," and as I draw the sword, I just slash across its throat.
A great arc of blood follows the tip of the ghost blade as it goes by, and the bear attempts to roar, but just gives a sort of crackly gurgle as it falls over backwards, twitching.
It's heavy.
Definitely a better plan.
Alright, I have a new fear die. Hopefully things go better.
That seemed to go pretty well overall.
Right.
Gotta say. Or at least Val's point of view.
Well, we are
I rolled a
definitely
12 and
giving
an
her
8,
a lot
so-
of fear.
Okay, Val. What are you gonna do? You are in the
Val's going
alligator's
to really
jaws.
try with the halberd. They managed it on Raz. They're gonna go for the sharp end this
It's
time on
worked
the
on
alligator.
Raz, why won't it work on anything else?
It's a 3 with fear.
Sadly, that does not hit. And I will take that fear and use it. 2. Actually, that was a fail. I don't have to use the fear.
Yeah.
The alligator is going to attempt to back into the water with you and give you another bite as it does that. Okay, let's see. That is a 13 to hit.
That is.
For 17.
I'll use 2 armor slots to bring it down to 1.
So now I'm spending a fear. And it's going to attempt to pull you under.
It's been fun, fellas.
Actually, I was
11.
wondering if I could throw him a line.
11 to hit.
Meets it, beats it. Right?
Okay. So now. 2 Okay, and that piles an additional 7 on, and it drags you into the water. Which is actually a little bit difficult for it because it's also having to go backwards through the hole that it has created. And so it is not perhaps moving as fast as it might have preferred to move. And it is back to you guys.
I would like to use my grappler to keep the alligator from getting into the water.
Okay, roll to hit.
$14 with hope.
That hits. And take the hope.
And that's a 14.
Okay, your grapple swings down over the alligator, wraps around behind one leg as it's trying to pull Val in, comes up and under and around and nails it right in the top of the head with one of its barbs. And as you pull it tight, that barb settles in and it lets go of Val, shrieks, and collapses to the bank. Dead.
I just gotta stand there with my rope in my hand like, holy shit.
Well, that's better than what I was going to try to do.
But I
don't even
immediately
wanna
run over to Val.
know. That was good work, Raz. You saved the day again.
You got to get better with that halberd, dude.
Yeah, I know we just took a break, but could we maybe sit down for a minute? Not on the right on the riverbank, maybe.
And I immediately go to Calico and say, "Are you all right?"
Yeah, I'm fine. Hey, Val, you did a really, really good job not dying in there.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
I'd
I
like
don't
to
wanna
use
hear it.
inspirational words and heal a hit point for you.
I appreciate the effort, but I don't want to hear it.
I feel like I was picking on Val. He's the one that stayed closest to the riverbank.
So far, I haven't rolled higher than a 4. Both times I rolled a 4. Just with my halberd, I have a -1 to strength, so it became a 3. But yeah, Val wants to have a little lie down after that.
Val also probably needs a fire because he's wet and it's still cold.
Yeah.
I think we should take a rest not next to the meal
Yeah.
for all of the hungry animals that have been trapped in the
Correct.
snow for 2 days, but agreed,
yeah.
we should probably sit.
Yeah, I don't really care where, but you're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah, let's not just stop here. Let's go in a little bit, and if you want, we can get you dry, dude.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
And once we find our place to rest, I should have done this beforehand. I'm going to use my rally ability and give us a rousing speech on how if we can take on 2 bears and whatever the fuck that thing was, that we can handle this mission. And then each of you get... Hold on. We're level 5. You get a D8 that you can add to any action roll, reaction roll, damage roll, or clear stress equal to the rally die roll.
All right.
And I'm included in that. Should have done that beforehand. And
That's
that
all
lasts till the end of the session.
Maybe it would have been helpful. I don't think it would have saved Val, but
No.
the thought is, the thought counts.
You know what, though? Val did do a pretty good job of staying alive.
Right?
I was a little concerned there for a minute.
So was I.
Having been drug under the water by an alligator in another game, it's not fun.
Val got swiped, turned around, tried something, fully failed, underwater. Like, it's not. I don't think Val did anything to survive there. I think it just ended before he could die.
It's your tenacity that keeps you up.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Also, you did exactly what you said you would do on this quest.
Be there.
Quality decoy. Yeah, little short rest would be grand.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you guys get a little bit of a fire going and take a little bit of a rest so that poor Val can catch his breath.
Yeah, you dry off.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Now, you are at a point where you still have about, let's see, probably 6 or so hours before night falls. So you could, once you've rested up and gotten Val all warmed up, you could still continue on moving if you wish.
Yeah. Are we
Or-
counting this as a short rest where we stop?
Yes, this is a short rest, so you can
Okay.
reset your you can do your short rest stuff.
All right. I'm gonna clear armor slots and HP. It's one of each, so I'm not gonna worry about rolling. But yeah, I think we should cover as much ground as we can after we rest.
Right.
You are
Don't remind
correct.
them of that. That one's not important.
Oh, how about a 4?
I really might go check on that dog after this session. It's getting worse.
It's sort of starting to sound like somebody should, because it doesn't sound like anybody is.
Well, they've gone from howling to incessantly barking, and that's different, so...
Yeah.
Hey, look, guys, we almost are winning with all the fear.
I like to think when it gets full, everybody just dies just on the spot.
Just instant death.
Yeah. And to pay all fear to kill one character.
It's great.
You spent 3 fear and it killed me. But, you know,
Nyla and Gabriel are
sure
going
this'll be
to
fine.
see the fear tracker and be like, what the fuck did you guys do?
we rolled a lot.
So with the short rest, do I need to roll a d4 to take away a stress?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. You'll get the 1 stress taken care of, yeah.
Okay. So I rolled a d4, which I got a 3, and you said add 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a 6.
Oh, so
sorry.
do I also do that for my health roll?
Yes.
Okay. Got a 2, get rid of the 3rd.
So does that take away both of my stresses?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, effectively on those short rest rolls, you can only manage a minimum of 4 at
Right.
this level.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I didn't roll, because I only had 1 hit point and one armor slot, so like I was
Yeah.
well within.
Yeah.
Well, with the short rest, I want to help Val dry off and get his stuff taken back together again and shake off the nerves.
Yeah, I think Val sets up a little drying station for all the stuff that was in his backpack. Doesn't unwrap any of the stuff that he initially brought, but the, like, whatever food or anything that he brought, just to, like, wipe off the cans.
It's a good thing we didn't give Val any of the bread.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I was like, getting across the river, easy. Getting back across the river, not as fun, I guess. So, everyone ready? Mostly dry.
Yep, let's do this.
Because I helped prepare with Val, does that mean we both get 2 hope?
Hmm. So with a short rest,
Yeah, so I'm preparing with everybody, obviously. Making
Okay.
sure that he's taken care of and okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we just get one because you're the only one preparing. I think if I prepare with you, then we each get once. But I didn't have any left over to prepare.
Okay.
So yes, so in that case, then just Raz.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I had something that I could do for during short rests, and it doesn't look like I do.
You do have the ability to give an ally downtime move during their next rest.
That one under.
It is in your wordsmith subclass. It's the third box down in that, and in the bullets. It's the last bullet there,
Oh, I see, I see.
and that's just once per session.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna hold on to it just in case I want to use one of the other things, though.
It is worth doing because those are all pretty useful, or could be. Okay, so you guys are packing up and getting back on the road.
Yes.
Yep.
Following Calico.
Yep. Consulting the map before we take off.
Which
Right.
makes sense.
I feel like Val is like a half a step behind right now, but then like slightly jogs to catch back up and then kind of falls half a step behind and keeps doing that.
Okay. So we continue on, and as you go, you hear the occasional rustlings in the bushes. Nothing alarming. Probably just small animals moving around in the brush where it's still easy to do so for them. The same eerie quiet that you would normally have after a big snowfall. But there are definitely no people moving around on the trail at this point. You are long past any of the residences associated with Madet. There's nobody out here at all, and it's really quite clear there are 0 footprints out here at this point.
Mm.
So, what are you doing as you trek along? Are you bantering, chatting, just sightseeing?
Spoken word poetry.
Oh boy.
I think for one.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say I think for once Val is just dead silent.
And it's full improv about whatever we're seeing.
What is Raz doing?
Raz is literally just listening to Calico go on and on and on. And I'm like, oh boy, how much longer do we have?
So, what are you guys seeing as you walk along? What are you hearing?
Definitely seeing some of the squirrels waking up and going into the trees, and maybe some deer going across and stuff like that. As we trudge.
That weird, cool, ripply pattern that snow gets when it's been like blown after a storm.
Yeah.
Mhm. As the sun dips below or gets close to the horizon, you get about halfway to the foot of the mountains, and it's cold and kind of miserable. And getting colder by the moment as the weak light of the sun weakens further.
Should we settle down for the night?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and find us a good spot to set up and start like clearing snow, setting up the tents. I put Val in charge of like actually making the fire.
Val is sitting there with like 2 sticks and very sadly rubbing them together, and then kind of, yeah, just kind of like very much like knows how to do it, but also right now doesn't really like wants to take time doing something, and then eventually like properly lights the fire.
We should probably sleep in shifts.
I agree.
I can take first shift. That's all right with everyone else.
Yeah,
That'll work.
I can take second.
I got third.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see you when you wake you then.
Sweet. Yep, and I get into my very like overly ornate sleeping bag.
That wasn't extra. No, I'm not gonna get into it. That's just on brand at this point, I guess.
It's actually like it looks like it's a good brand, but it's a fake.
Yeah, I think in Val's head it's just like is that heavier than normal, or is it just like a brand thing, and it's just like it probably does not matter.
Raz just gets inside of his tent, covers up head to toe, and goes to sleep.
Yeah, I think as soon as the two of them are asleep, Val will like actually unfold the things that were in the cloth and put them next to the fire to actually dry them off. Because I think earlier they just kind of dried off the cloth, but now to actually dry off the things that were inside, just kind of while no one else is there. And then just sit and poke the fire.
Okay. So. The night passes. How does your watch shift go, Val?
I think very quiet and a little solemn. Because like once the stuff dries, and folds it back up neatly and puts the what is closed back into the backpack, and then the staff just kind of on the side, and then just kind of sits there poking the fire, trying not trying not to notice anything, but just trying not to think about anything.
Okay. And when it comes time to, excuse me, to wake, was it Calico was second?
Yeah.
Okay. So Calico, how do you do that?
I do a quick like perimeter check around the camp, and then sit down and start carving a likeness of Talia, my like lost love from back at Chasm.
Mm. Okay. And as the night gets to the latter third, there's only a little time left before sunrise. It's time to go wake up Raz.
I do so.
And I get out of my my beddings and stuff like that, and I go out and I do a quick perimeter sweep, just listening for anything. And so far so quiet. And I just kind of sit down by the fire and I poke the fire.
At probably 3 hours into your watch,
Mhm.
and it is not long before you're going to be waking the other two up to get moving again. The sun is just lightening the sky and starting to be bright enough to see, though the sun itself is not quite up yet. Give me an instinct.
Instinct.
Yes.
My goodness. 14 with fear.
Okay. Well, I will take that fear. You guys got to quit feeding me the fear.
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
Okay. However, you do hear above in the gloom the flap of a wing.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't been hearing birds. This is the wrong season for them to be out, especially after such a storm.
Right. Can I listen like intently and tell if it's what type of bird maybe? Or flying thing?
You can't tell the type by the sound, but it does sound as though it is coming closer.
Okay, well, I immediately wake everybody up and let them know that I hear, hey guys, something's heading this way.
Something good or
Well, around this time, especially after the storm that we had, there's no birds and something is flying this way.
I give it 50-50, I guess.
Yeah, I strap on my sword, grab my hand crossbow, and try to find a spot to hide.
Right.
And just as you guys are getting ready for that, whatever it is, you see a hawk come in on a wide arc, and it screams, but it's flying strangely, as though injured, but somehow also still strong. The tilt of its wings is a little odd. The way it delays moving its tail until the very last second. Something is off about the way it's flying.
Well, I put it to a 80-20 on the bad to good now.
Can we visibly see anything wrong with it? Like, are we getting like alligator
I
vibes?
got those masks.
It is definitely... There's something wrong with it. That's really all you can see at this distance. It is not flying the way, in the smooth, graceful way that a normal hawk flies.
Right. Well, I'm gonna continue to hide and be like, I really hope that thing goes away, because that is giving me in town alligator vibes. Where's my mask?
Yeah, we didn't pack those, did we?
Did you? Would you have thought
I just
about
take
it?
my shirt and put it over my face.
Val certainly would not have thought of that.
I mean, I think I would probably have a scarf.
There you go. So the hawk finishes crossing over the top of you and continues in a long, wide circle, but it comes back around and cries again, and this time you hear a wolf howl, almost as though in response.
What the hell?
I'd say it's 99-1 now.
And it's pretty close.
we maneuver around, or I guess we'd have to abandon the tents, which I don't think is worth it.
No, I think we hunker down and hope we can fight/scare them off.
Right.
All right.
I'd like to cast Runic Circle.
Okay.
Or Rune Circle. So I'm going to mark a stress and create a temporary magic circle on the ground. Any creatures in melee range of the circle or who enter melee range of the circle take 2d12 plus 4 and then are pushed out at the end of their action.
Okay.
So,
Is
marking a
that
stress.
doable on the map somehow, Tim?
It says around me and for creatures in melee range. Yeah.
No. Yeah. No. I thought it was wider than that. No.
No.
Yeah.
No. It only affects creatures that are in melee or with it or that come into melee.
Okay, and it pushes them out of melee at the end of their turn?
Yeah, and does damage.
Okay. So remember to mark that.
Yeah. Yeah, I marked the stress.
Okay. What's the damage at the end of their turn?
It is 2d12 plus 4.
Okay. As the hawk finishes its second arc toward you, you hear the crunching of four-legged footsteps outside your little area. But they're not rhythmic. Again, they're stilted, awkward, stiff. Something is out there moving in the snow, but it's not moving quite right.
Why do we have to be the ones?
Yeah, like, why am I here? Like, I know Raz did so good last time, but like, okay. Raz, you want to lead, or is it what is that thing that you just did in Calico? Are we just sitting here?
Well, if I move the circle, I'll be out of the circle, and that doesn't help me. You're welcome to move, but I say we post up and let them come to us.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
I'm definitely hiding if I can hide.
There are lots of shadows.
Cindy, you cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
Okay. There are still lots of shadows because the sun hasn't come up yet.
Okay. So
okay.
I take it no enemies can see us yet?
They have not seen you quite yet.
Okay.
You're where you set up camp is kind of, you can actually take this terrain as given.
Right. So I'm gonna find a place to hide. When you move into a location where no enemies can see you, you can use an action to become hidden. Any rolls against you have a disadvantage. As a rogue, when you are hidden, targets also can't see you. If they move into a line of sight, you are no longer hidden after you move or attack.
Right. Okay.
So I'm hiding.
Okay. So.
Calico, is the goal to lure them into the circle, or are we still just trying to hide?
I just put it up in case they like rush me. I mean, ideally they ignore us.
I don't think we're getting that opportunity.
Unfortunately, when whatever's out there actually comes into view, it is, and I'm just going to make this large so you can see it.
Ooh.
It looks like it was at one time a wolf, But it's not really that anymore. Not entirely sure what exactly you're looking at, or what it is, but it's definitely not a wolf anymore. Whatever it was, it's got that weird webby thing all over. Yes, you're not wrong there. It's pretty nasty looking. It's that spongy webby stuff without the orange cast to it that the alligator had.
Right.
And it is they are not moving well, but you can just kind of see the ends of their snouts. Their mouths are kind of propped open a little bit, but they're still managing. Unfortunately, what they are also doing is both of their noses are to the ground. And they're very clearly following your path in from last night.
Well, I think fight it is. Then Val kind of turns to Calico like so how strong is the circle? Like they get in here and we're fine, or is it like
Oh, the circle's only around me, and if they come in, they'll get hurt and pushed away.
how hurt? Like kill hurt or like
Gods, I hope so.
okay. And then Val just shouts to them, hey you over here, and tries to like point towards just like right where like the full circle is. Come here.
And both wolves' heads snap up and turn to look. At the same time, the hawk makes a stooping dive toward you. Yeah, toward Val. There we go.
Poor Val.
I mean, he did just issue a challenge.
So I
true.
do have a question, because me and Val are next to each other and the hawk is technically within melee of me. Will my circle go off, or is it only if it comes at me? Because it doesn't really specify. Because I could hit it with my sword right now.
I do have a plan if it also doesn't specify.
Let's see, what was the name of it again?
It is... I have to go back to it. I was looking at my other stuff. So it's under Book of Korvax, Rune Circle.
I see it. Okay.
Oh, it says within melee range of this circle.
Or who enter melee range of this circle.
Yes.
Ooh, I am going to say, with the two of you right next to each other, that does technically make it in melee range of the circle, because you could reach out and whack it as it comes in.
Cool.
So, 2d4.
12.
2d12 plus 4. I knew there was a 4 in there somewhere.
Are you rolling or am I?
You are rolling.
Okay. Ooh, that is 24.
Okay, this thing shrieks. There's a bright flash of light, and it goes sort of tumble cartwheeling off into the brush behind Val.
Awesome.
Pretty good circle. Yeah. Just see where to go.
Okay, but the two wolves, pseudo wolves, infected wolves, whatever these things are, they snarl and close in. I have to look at this. Movement, go away.
Is the bird still alive?
It is not. And
Okay.
it should not have any hit points at all. I don't know why it pretends like it does.
A bird can dream.
Oh. We probably are, actually. I think you are correct. And I told you I had that tendency to do that, so ignore me. Fix it. You can fix it. I'll quit doing it.
Okay, here's plan. I push them into circle. Your circle kills them. If not kill them, Raz kill them. Plan?
That sounds fair.
Okay, just keep that circle going. Val is gonna kind of like beckon them to try and kind of where the bird was, but is ready to act if they don't fall for the same tricks.
Okay. Is everybody holding still? Holding on?
No, I'm gonna shoot the one on the left with my hand crossbow.
Oh, hey, look at you. Taking the taking the initiative. Roll to hit.
Nice. Wow, I can't do math for a second. 25 with hope.
Nice.
Holy crap. Okay,
Yeah.
that definitely hits.
I rolled
Take
an
the hope.
11 and a 12.
Nice.
Also a plan. Also a good plan.
Yeah.
Oh, I rolled like shit for damage though. 11.
Okay, how do you want to do this?
Oh,
Oh.
nice. I'm just gonna yell, "New plan!" and shoot it right in the face. Just like right between where I would hope its eyes are under all of the webbing.
Calico's
It
catchphrase
yelps.
is about to be new plan.
It really is.
It yelps and drops in its tracks.
You just want to do that for the other one while we're here, or
Sure. I mean, if we can kill him without him getting close.
yeah, because my range is that of this halberd, and look at that goes. So
I try to shoot the other one.
Roll to hit.
I gotta see what my bonus is. 17.
Also hits.
Alright, we're gonna use the same d6s because they did good. Well, they didn't do good last time, but it was enough. That's better. 8, 10, 14.
And how does that one go down?
Same shot. I just fire, quickly reload, and fire again, and then just plant a bolt between both of their, where I hope both of their eyes are.
It yelps and also drops. But from outside your little camping area, you hear a rumbling growl.
I don't think my crossbow's big enough for that.
yeah, we want to try the circle.
Yeah, I would take a step behind me so that I'm in front. Like, just take a step back.
Don't worry, it's part of the plan.
This looks an awful lot like the alligator that was at the village or at the town in Madet. Except it's moving a little bit better. still pretty ugly and pretty stilted. And it pauses between the bodies of the two wolves and actually touches its nose to each wolf before lifting its head and roaring. And then it charges.
Oh, good.
This time, I'm going to shadow step behind it, and I am going to use my grappler to pull its head away from them.
It's actually about to get damaged and pushed back before you do that.
Oh, okay. Then I will wait to see what happens.
Okay,
If by some chance it still goes, then I'll do something.
Let's roll the damage for the circle.
14.
Okay.
And then it's just pushed out of melee range.
Right, that's back about there. It shrieks and thrashes as though that circle has electrocuted it. It thrashes and twitches and has muscle spasms, and then it too drops in its tracks.
You hear from the shadow, "Holy shit, Calico!"
I think those infected things are weak to magic. I'm not positive. Like, I've never killed an alligator before, I think. But I feel like it shouldn't have been that easy.
No, it was that easy in the town too, though.
Oh, that's
Right,
true.
just,
That was just a regular spear.
Yeah, just a spear from Raz through the mouth. Well, I guess we didn't need a plan.
I also think I need to change my pants.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. This time, I would like to, since we don't have anybody to stop us from investigating it, since this alligator looks like the one that we saw in town, I would like to take a look at it.
Okay.
Remember your cover your face, I guess.
Yep, I got. And I walk up to it and I'm just kind of looking it over.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you roll instinct.
Nine with hope.
Okay, well, you notice that this one is somewhat different in that the growth, the webbing,
Mm-hmm.
it does have that orange tinge to it that the wolves' carcasses don't. However, it does not appear to have worked its way under the skin into the muscles quite so far. It's mostly skull cap kind of fitting and into the eyes and ear holes, but it is not down into the mouth, and it is straight down the spine all the way to the tail tip. But it doesn't seem to have those ripples of feelers underneath the skin into the, which may account for why it was moving better.
Like it wasn't completely taken over.
Or not as advanced, one or the
Right.
other. It's sort of hard to be sure.
Should we take a sample of this to see if it's different than the other one that they have?
Do we have anything to keep a sample in?
Oh yeah, well, as it says with GM discretion, I can reach into my Nomad pack for once per session and pull out I think it says common item.
I
A
could give
common item, useful to the situation. Work with the GM to figure out what the item is. I was thinking like a glass jar or vial or something.
I could see a jar easily enough.
Yeah, and I pull out like a little glass jar, and then I just like slip my glove on and try to cut a piece of the webbing off and put it in the jar, and then do my best like wash my glove in the snow.
Okay.
And we can get that back to Doc, and maybe he can actually take a look at it and see what the hell it is.
Well, I mean, if we're already heading towards Chasm, we can just bring it.
We're not going all the way to Chasm though.
Oh, yeah, but if we find a supply team along the way, we can also just send it with them. You know, it's yeah.
This is some freaky shit, man. Let's find this shit and get back home.
No doubt. I was down for like a leisurely stroll through the snow, not this.
Yeah, this is strange storms, strange creatures. Yeah, let's get the hell on.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys have at least proven to be helpful, unlike the certain someone. But
You did a really good job taking damage so that we didn't have to.
That's right.
it's fine.
You also
I'll take it.
lured that hawk over here, and then it died.
Yeah, but I did kill it, you know. Anyway, let's get going before I don't know. I feel like they're just gonna wake back up or something.
Did we try to burn them?
We can try. I feel like that's just gonna let spores out or whatever into the air, though.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, let's pack up and get
Yeah,
out
Let's
ASAP.
just in
get the
case it's
hell on.
airborne.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna grab our stuff and start making our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking a wide berth around all the dead things.
Absolutely.
As best I can.
As I put my shirt over my face.
Okay, well, I'm kind of thinking that this is a good place to pause.
Awesome.
You're right, Sleepy. That was awesome. Our continued thanks to Cami, the artist behind our wonderful character art. Their info is in the description if you want to check out their work. If you want more from us, check out the Magical Rabbit Hole that is our Mage the Ascension campaign right now. And for those of you who want more Daggerheart, more Making It and Made It is coming. So click the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and like this video. See you next time in the Dahlia World Garden.